tuned in to the Miriam Makunda Show.
Welcome back. You are listening to the Miriam Makunda Show on Salam Media, and it is time for our book review today. I'll be chatting to Gugu Ndima, who is the author of the book titled All in a Girl's Life. We are live on Facebook. If you have any comments, questions, queries, or suggestions, please leave them in the comment section, or you can send them to us on WhatsApp. The number is 061-766-0355. Alternatively, call us. The number is 010-880-2396. Let's chat to Gugu and find out more about the book. Hi, Gugu.
How are you? I hope I'm audible. Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you. Thank you for joining me.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. All right, so Gugu, tell us about the book. What is it all about? All in a girl's life.
Well, it's basically exactly what the title says. It's everything that girls go through. The book is about a friendship between 5 girls, Kate, Mandisa, Matlakala, Terry, and Portia. And these are girls who pretty much have grown up. So it's a girl squad. And what it speaks about is, the intricacies of the friendship, things that they go through in relationships, career-wise, as they've grown up. Some of them met at varsity. So now they're getting into adulthood. They're in their 30s, some are heading towards 40. And the book is based in Johannesburg, but it does integrate in between provinces. So you've got Mandisa, who's from KZN. You've got Terry, who's from the Eastern Cape. And, some of the girls are also based in Gauteng, Kate as well. So in essence, it's a book that you can actually read and feel that you're part of a TV series, watching these girls go through all these things that they go through within the book.
And this is exactly what I kind of picked up from you. I'm like, oh, okay. So this is like the Real Housewives Club, where these ladies get together and talk about their different lives and challenges, get together on weekends and do this and that.
Yeah.
Now you've mentioned about the different areas, the different locations of the book, the Eastern Cape. How important was it to integrate all of these provinces and all of these areas and bringing them together in one, and bringing women from different backgrounds and putting them together?
South Africa is a very dynamic country. And I think in as much as anyone would say they're from KZN or the Eastern Cape, everything integrates within a person. So you'd find that someone who is from the Eastern Cape would have studied in Joburg, for example, and worked in Cape Town. Or you have parents, grandparents who are in KZN, but you grew up in Gauteng, like myself, for example. So it was very important so that, you get a correlation, or as a person, you're able to identify yourself in it. So, 1 minute you'll be in Soweto, the next week you're going to KZN to see your grandparents and stuff. But also so that a woman or anyone actually who reads it finds some kind of identity in the book. For example, I will speak about Joburg, Pritchard Street or Small Street. That is one of the biggest streets in Joburg. And for anyone who's commuting in public transport, or someone, who would get lost right in Sea Point, in Cape Town or in different areas. So it's a South African identity for anyone who's reading it to get a sense of the feel of what Joburg is. So even if it's someone who's not from South Africa reading the book, but they'd also get an understanding of the different cultures, the mix, in September, it's Heritage Month. So it's also got that aspect as well. And just what I wanted to say about what you said initially, that it looks like the Real Housewives kind of book. What I like about it is that it's actually quite different from that. So it's not your typical cocktail girls or we're going shopping. Girls actually go through a lot within the book. I mean, the struggle is real. Someone loses her job in the process, and it also gives you a sense of the vast differences in urban culture where, urban poverty is real. Wealth is also real. The things that we're going through as young women as well. You're seeing the rise of the slave queen culture, for example. Woman trying to get by. She's got a job, but she needs to also be able to augment her income. These are some of the things that are real. I've got a character there, Umatlakana, who is working in a beauty parlor, ends up having to get into this life of sex work purely because, you know, she's got this double life that she's living, and she wants a certain lifestyle, and the work that she's doing at a beauty parlor doesn't really accommodate that. So it's quite interesting. It's not a typical flair, you know, cosmopolitan type of book, but there are realities in it. Also, xenophobia, for example, is touched in the book, where one of the ladies, Terry, is involved with a Zimbabwean and has to introduce the Zimbabwean boyfriend to staunch Xhosa parents. And the parents, you know, antagonize this and think, what on earth, you know, there's an element of that. Why would you date a Zimbabwean? What's the future for you? So it's got all the things, the social realities that we've got currently in Mzansi, and it does really touch on a number of topics.
And at least with such books, when you read them, you can get into you read them and you know that these are real issues that women face,
Yes.
men face. This
Every
is
single
what
day.
I'm going through, and what we watch on TV with you know, this Real Housewife and stuff. It's who knows? It could all just be fake, just for the sake of
So
the
it
view.
actually, just on that, it actually exposes that. For example, Kate is a single parent. She's raising a son. I kind of gravitate to that character. I've also got a son myself. But also she's a businesswoman, and she has to survive this life. So she's created this facade. She lives in Fourways. She's got a BMW, but she has to make ends meet. And you see the realities when things fall apart. She's no longer got, you know, the boyfriend who facilitates tenders for her in government. There's also the element of corruption, by the way, government tenders. So it shows the realities that, you know, there are a lot of people that find themselves having to put up this facade in friendships outside, and create a certain impression. And this actually becomes very difficult. So it also speaks about the challenges of the current middle class we've got, the one that's indebted, the one that's not surviving, the one that, you know, cars get repossessed, houses get repossessed. And Kate as a character actually kind of navigates that reality for the Black female who's in the current middle class. Yeah.
All right. How does the book engage with one's emotions? Because you've been mentioning a lot of the challenges that the characters face in the book. So how does it engage our emotions?
I'm an absolute hopeless romantic. I'm a lover. So that's a very central theme in the book. What I always say is that, you know, whilst it's all in a girl's life, it also gives men a sneak preview of things that we go through in relationships as women. You know, the heartaches, the scars they leave. As I've said, Kate is a single parent. And at some point, she has to now reconnect the son with the father. And has to reconnect the son with the father on a deathbed. So you can imagine how painful that is. So it takes you on a lot of highs and a lot of lows. But what I like about it, if I do say so myself, is that it will make you see that, you know, we all go through it one way or another. The emotions, the love, the struggles, also parents. There's a conflicting relationship between a mom and a daughter within the book itself. You know, these are some of the things that we struggle with, that we've got our generation that's very different, or takes what womanhood very differently from what our moms are. So the contradictions or the conflict between different generations of women as well. So how do people deal with that? So it takes you on all. It's also very funny. We've got Portia, who is absolutely so funny. The humor in South Africa, you know, how she jokes about load shedding, being broke, men, you know, hurting you and stuff. So it's the essence or the fundamental theme is definitely love. Women love love. I don't care who says what, single or taken, but it goes through that. I'm a believer of great endings. Look, I've also got a sequel coming out, but there are happy endings to it. There's painful endings to it. There's those long-term relationships, person you would have dated since you were in school, and also that, you know, not all is lost. You can still meet someone when you're older. There's also that kind of aspect to it. So yes, the emotions are crazy. It will take you everywhere. So I always recommend, if you're going to read it, And if you like your wine, have it with a glass of wine.
Awesome. You are going to be on
Yeah.
an emotional roller coaster. So, did your childhood or upbringing influence this book? And if so, how?
Undoubtedly.
Mhm.
I always say if you want to know who the author is, read the book, especially fiction, because that also gives you a sense of escape as an author. You be able to write your story without necessarily saying what directly. It's like singers, musicians tell us their story about themselves. So definitely, as I've said, I'm a single parent myself to a son. I've had a bittersweet relationship with my mom at some point. I lost my father at the age of 16, and those things come out. So, how this would impact on a person socially and psychologically. Also, my own life, my own experiences going to school now later in life, going back to fetch my dreams. I'm studying at WITS at the present moment. I'm studying towards a law degree, something I've always wanted to do, but I wasn't
Mhm.
able to do because of my own personal challenges. So the book also speaks about career changes as well, that you should never be afraid of starting over. So these are some of my own life experiences that are in the book as well. And I always say, if anyone says, no, I'd like to get to know Gugu better, read the book. So yeah, there's been a great influence on my experiences as well.
Mhm. All right. And were there
Mm.
any challenges you faced, when writing the book, publishing it, distributing, etc.?
Yeah. Definitely. Look, when I initially started, it was 2012, that time. There was really not a structured environment for, what do you call it, a self-published author. I'm a self-published author.
Mhm.
And I really didn't get the proper guidance. Yes, there were people at that time who were willing to assist. But
Mhm.
when I revisited this passion now, in 2020, it was actually kind of easier because I met other self-published authors in South Africa. Black authors at time are not necessarily well received. People have had to fight for us to get space in that environment. If you're not a known, prominent author, I mean, we
Mhm.
should applaud people like Professor Zakes Mda, who've actually opened the pathway for some of us to be able to get in. It is much easier, but it's still a very, there's hurdles, but you do now see Black authors in prominent bookstores like your exclusive books and so forth, which is good and encouraging. So literally the book has been out for 10 days. I've been doing the distribution myself, but with the self-published authors I know, like Pumza Shabang Takalani, who wrote The Royal Mistress, and Dudu Busani, who's also quite a great author as well. These are people that have been helpful. There was also an association where you can get information about distribution, and that's what I'm
Mhm.
actually trying to do. So the promotion is definitely self. I want to do this on a full-time basis, but it's not as it's discouraging as it was. It's not as difficult now. At least you get somewhere. People are actually receptive of self-published authors. It is very difficult, I won't lie. The worst part has been the editing. I think,
Mhm.
a story does come out. A story is a very beautiful thing to tell, but to structure it to a point where someone else can read it, that's a very difficult part. But experience and time also assist as well. And I think, to anyone who also wants to write a book, never be afraid to ask for help. Doors will definitely be shut. I've had doors shut in my face, but you go to the next person, you pick yourself up and say, okay, this is what
Mhm.
I want
Uh,
us on getting there.
mhm. Well, I think that
Yeah.
I'm ready to write a book. I don't know why I haven't started already, but I think I'm ready to tell a story, and hopefully
Trust me,
we'll see.
the time will come. I always say it comes from the heart. It's
Mhm.
like you'll tell you, like, okay, I want to write 3 chapters. Forget it. If the heart is not there, you will not write. And there'll be days where you can write 5 chapters in a day. It's purely where the state of mind and your heart is.
Oh, all right. So I will
Yeah.
take your word for it and say that there is something as writer's block, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
All right. So where can people get a copy of the book?
Okay, as I've said, currently I'm self-distributing and self-published. So please contact me on WhatsApp. It's 076 783 1516. So you simply just drop a WhatsApp and I'll respond. I'm also on Facebook, Gugu Ndima. I'm also on Twitter, Mandima Writer, and I'm also on Instagram. I think I'm a very easy person to find there on socials. Yes, I appreciate everyone who's actually currently supported the book. As I've said, it's just 10 days and I've had people respond positively. So yeah, it's my number 076 783 1516. Email gugundima, one word, at gmail.com.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, Gugu, and good luck with the book.
Thank you so much. Cheers.
Bye. That was Gugu Ndima, the author of the book titled All in a Girl's Life. If you'd like the copy, you can send her a WhatsApp text on 076 783 1516. That's 076 783 1516. And she is available on social media as Gugu Ndima or Mandima on other social media platforms. And as she said, the book tackles a lot of issues that women deal with and women go through in modern day South Africa. Women coming from different backgrounds and coming to the big city of Johannesburg and meeting other women from different provinces and different parts of the country and all becoming friends and going through these challenges together as friends and handling the pressures that life brings us. All right, guys, if you have any comments, questions, queries, or suggestions, please send them to us. You can leave them in the comment section on WhatsApp or send them to us on in the comment section in Facebook or send them to us on WhatsApp. The number is 0617660355. Don't be afraid to call me in studio. The number is 010-880-2396. You are listening to the Mario Mokonda Show on Salam Media. We will be right back.